Hi folks, I thought I'd just take a minute and share with you a very good little project that I have been working on for about a year. And this is your basic hand dredge. I built originally about a year ago a 1.5 inch unit, which has been very good for me, and I've had about a year to work out the bugs on it and get it pretty solid. So as you can see here, there's a lot of attachments that you can get for it and make for it. And so it's just a real handy little item to have all around. Here's just a sample of some of the nozzles that I've made for it, and you can make them to fit just about anything you want. I thought I'd just show you here a few of the things that you can do with it. Here is your super sucker nozzle on there, which is the one I use it most of all. And if you want to, you can put on an extension and give you just about another 2 foot range there. When it comes to sucking small areas out and cracks and crevices, you can build a whole variety of different little attachments for it. Put a little catch cup on there and you can just suck out with the different nozzles there the small areas. This particular one here happens to be one of my favorites right here because it allows the material to flow naturally down into the catch cup. On this nozzle, I put a screw through the end of it to limit the size of the rocks that are being sucked into it. It's very easy to change the length of the catch cup on there, and this will allow you to catch more material before you have to empty it. This will just give you kind of an idea of the versatility of these things. You can really go crazy trying to design all different things for it. Just kind of like a big Legos for big guys. You can just go crazy with it and design whatever you want. Well, after the 1.5 inch tube worked so well for me, I decided to build a 2 inch tube. So I'll take you along with me on this and show you exactly how I do it step by step. Okay, first of all, you're going to need to buy two tubes. One's a 2 inch ABS plastic and the other one is a 1 inch PVC plastic. Be sure the black plastic tube is nice and shiny down inside and not rough and corrugated. The 1 inch PVC will be just fine the way it is. This will give you kind of an idea of how it will be put together here. You have the PVC tube with the plunger on the end of it and the handle, which will go down inside of the black tube. Here are all the parts that comprise the handle. You have a 45-degree elbow, a little about a 2 inch straight piece of tubing, and a cap for the end of it. Well, this will give you kind of an idea of how the handle goes together. This isn't the only style. There's a number of different styles that you can design and build yourself here. But this is one I'm deciding to try for this particular unit, and I kind of like it quite well so far. The plunger, which creates the suction, consists of three parts: a two-piece screw-together cap and a pair of plumber's test plugs. To start with, I usually start with drilling the cap first. I'll build a little box here so that I can find the center of the cap easier. You just measure horizontally, vertically, and from corner to corner, and that should give you approximately the dead center to where to start to drill. This will give you kind of an idea of what it looks like afterwards. X marks the spot. This is kind of the trickiest part of and the most dangerous part of the whole operation. I use a large Forstner bit to drill a hole. You have to be very careful if you're holding onto it with your hands because it can grab and do a little damage to your hands, so be careful. For the rubber plunger, you will need two of these ODI 2-inch diameter PVC test plug fittings. I bought these at Lowe's because they're the ones that carry these, and they run about $4.49 a piece. The rubber plunger is the most important part of the whole project here. So to make it, you're going to have to disassemble the two plumber's plugs. All you'll be using are the two smaller discs that come with it and one of the rubber washers. You point the tapered end of the little discs in towards the big hole on the rubber bushing. Then you put it through a hole you drill in one of your caps. Now this is the most important part. You need a lock nut to go on the bottom of the bolt on there. This makes sure that it doesn't come unscrewed on you while you're using it. So this is the most important part and a must-have. So now what you do is you keep tightening it up, and as you tighten it up, it will put pressure on the large rubber washer and expand it. Now what you do is you just keep tightening it up until it expands out to where it just barely fits inside of the black tube and makes a good seal on there. And there you go. Now you have your plunger assembly. Okay, this is the two-piece plug now that I now use. This allows the cap to be unscrewed off so that you can make adjustments to the rubber washer as it wears down over time, or to tweak it in to get a better fit. Well, to keep the plunger from coming off while you're operating it, I take and drill a 1/8 inch hole in there and insert a 1/2 inch screw to kind of hold it all together on there. I'd rather do this than glue it on because at some point in time I may want to change this assembly on here. I don't want to have to cut the pipe shorter. Also make some indexing marks on there so I can line up the two holes in there. So as you can see, the plunger now just unscrews off easily for adjustment or replacement. An alternative that you might like that works a little better than the rubber is a pump cup. You can look for leather cups up on Amazon or up on eBay and find them in the 1.5, 2, and 3 inch. This is what it looks like for my 1.5 inch. Okay, now you run the plunger assembly down inside the black tube and run it to where you have just about a 1/2 inch before it hits the very front of it. Then put the back cap on. This will allow the inner tube to extend out through the back. Measure approximately 1 inch to 1.25 inches out and cut the tube at that length. On the 45-degree elbow, I drill another hole and insert another 1/2 inch screw in there to hold it in place. I also put the lining marks on the tubes and on the elbow as well. I like to do this because I may like to change the style of the handle a little later on down the road. Well, that's about all there is to it. And now what you have is a finished basic tube and you're ready for the accessories. Well, it turns out that with the PVC I bought, I was able to build 2 tubes with it. So I got 2 for the price of 1. I thought I'd show you here just a few of the accessories I'm starting to build up for this. This one's your regular 1-inch nozzle with a catch tube on it. This one is a larger nozzle with the catch tube. This is your super sucker nozzle on there, which I use the most. Here is the white version of the super sucker nozzle. Well, I thought I'd include a little clip here that I took earlier this summer of my 1.5 inch dredge. These things can really move a lot of material. It's quite surprising. And especially if you're a panner, then these things will give you something to really pan. Just check out all the material here. This thing is moving in one stroke. Well, now if we can find a pan. There we go. If you will look just on the edge of the gravel, just above my thumb there's a little black spot. Just watch that there for a minute. Oop, see him jumping there. There you go. Well, sometimes you catch a little bit more than sand and dirt and gravel with these things. And here's a little sample of something we got out from under the rock. Yep, it's a little baby rainbow trout. Well, we found him a nice quiet spot and turned him back loose in the stream. Well, if you're interested in building one of these, I hope this has been helpful. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you.